Welcome to our season 2, episode 1, Future Days, Last of Us breakdown. Why 30 seconds had to play. I was letting our dear favorite co-host Mark Menchaca finish his dinner because it's dinner time for Mark. If you want to know if you should do matches around this time, it's dinner. But we are here. We're live. We gave a little time between Sunday and right away to do spoilers, so this will be very spoiler heavy. Again, if you haven't seen this episode, I'd suggest. I appreciate the view. Don't go watch it. Watch it later. Come back and watch it. We just did our whole recap of season 1, all in one episode, about 2 hours. It was a fun 2 hours and 30. I think it was a pretty long one. Now we're here to break down the first episode. And then right after this, we're going to go shoot our other episode of our show. So we're busy people tonight. Mark, how are you, and how was your viewing experience for getting back into The Last of Us?
Okay, I thought we were going to talk about the Shield, and we'll just jump right in.
No, I'm better. I got myself detailed. I was almost about to say, how do you feel about Pete?
No, this is pretty good. I mean, I like being able to rewatch a season like this, then going into it. Kind of allows a good refresher course, and also just in general, I really liked us rewatching season 1. I think it gave me a deeper appreciation for season 1 in general, and it kicked off what I feel like was a pretty damn good start to the season.
Yes. And just to let everybody know how this is working, me and Mark have played the video game. Matt has not, so he doesn't know what is coming. We know what's coming. At least what the game has. If they go off course, we'll be as confused as everybody else. Matt, how are you? How was your viewing experience?
I'm doing good. I'm happy that I had the chance to rewatch the first season. It just made jumping into this feel a lot better. I would just rely on the little recap at the beginning to jog my memory of everything that happened a year ago. So that was nice. And it's good to have it back. The further adventures of Joel and Ellie. See what happens.
Well, most people know about me in this community that I'm a very patient human being. That I don't mind waiting for things, and I'm pretty calm and even keeled. I don't get too high or too low. Thank God for this show. This show, TV Chronicles, not Last of Us, because if I wasn't doing this show week to week, um, I'm angry. I'm one angry individual, but this gives me enough pauses to go through that I know I have to discuss with Mark, and so it makes it reasonable why I have to wait. I'm like, oh, I don't have to wait because Last of Us is only giving us an episode a week. I have to do this because TV Chronicles is once a week, and that's what I have to do. Same thing with the TV shows we watch. It gives me a nice little buffer because if not, I would be done with Mad Men currently. Like Mad Men would have been done 5 weeks ago at this point. I would have buzzed through that thing. So what we're going to do is just boil through, talk about what happens. Each person's going to pop around, talk about the moments they liked, they didn't like. I guess we kind of start. Show started, open, back. We're back in where we left in season 1.
There's giraffes.
Yeah, swear to me. I swear. Ellie don't believe you.
No.
Okay. And then I think the next big jump, again, we have our thoughts on that. We had our whole lengthy moral discussion of us group of would we do it, would we not do it, where that is. I'm still on the side that I probably wouldn't do it. Mark's like, you guys are stupid. But
I will correct you on that. I didn't say I wouldn't do it. I just said it was wrong. It was the wrong thing to do.
Based on the show,
it was incorrect.
I support the criminal endeavors, the people that are bad, but I support it. Mark just supports the morally corrupt people. Not really hardcore crimes, but just horrible people. Shows who we are. Wait till Mad Men when I defend all the women in the show and Mark is over there defending all the men. You'll be the judge. There's evidence. There's at least 12 episodes out there. Okay. So yes, we get introductions to a new group, right?
Yeah, so Abby and some of the other Fireflies, I guess.
And they're burying people.
Mm-hmm.
And Abby, played by Caitlin Dever, is pretty adamant that she wants to kill a man named Joel. Now, they're the Fireflies, so their group got slaughtered by Joel.
And her father was killed by Joel.
Yes. So they're pretty adamant of killing Joel. The group is kind of using logic that says, hey, we don't know who the hell this guy is. And Abby says, not so fast, motherfucker. He's old. He's got a scar on his neck. Like, she gets details. She's ready to go.
Some would say he's good looking.
The suggestion from the group, the one guy, is, hey, let's go to Seattle, which, not that far, but it's a distance. It would be a distance to get to Seattle.
It's a little bit on foot.
Because they're in Colorado, right? I believe that's where you're muted, Mark, which is great for a podcast. Like an absolute great thing for a podcast.
They're in Salt Lake City.
Okay, so not too, but it's still a trek because, like, to get through to Colorado when they were in that section with just Ellie and Joel, it took process.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying, I got a brother or whatever, Seattle. Let's go. We got to be prepared to do what we're going to do. Let's go Seattle. So, but she said, promise me that we're going to get Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Done. Kill Joel. Overall thoughts, Caitlin Dever, Abby, from a person that played the game versus the person that didn't play the game. What was your thoughts on her and the group and your thoughts?
I mean, I think it brings an interesting dilemma because, I mean, she's justified in wanting to get vengeance. I mean, Joel killed pretty much like her group and her father. So I think that's going to be interesting to see what happens with that.
I got something to bring up real quick, and this is more of a question than anything.
Sure.
Did they say Joel killed Abby's father?
I don't think they said it in the episode, but if you watch at the end of the episode where they do the behind the scenes of the episode, they said that was her father.
Okay, I did not. What the hell?
Which I think is a massive miss.
Because it showed her like putting something on one of the little crosses.
Well,
which
like
I assume, yeah.
Here's the thing. I came into this recap ready to defend that part for that sole reason. They didn't say that her dad was dead.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they just gave that up too. Like, because them giving up that she wants to kill Joel, I don't think is like a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, that's fine. But like giving the reason why she wants to kill Joel is like probably something that they shouldn't have done.
So if it's just he killed like a bunch of her coworkers and friends versus he killed her father. So like the other people, they seem upset with him, but they're not really all, we have to go track him down now and kill him. Whereas she's got like she's spitting venom.
I mean, I don't even think it's that. It's just like I feel like the way this is kind of,
which I'm assuming this is not how it goes off in the game. I'm assuming they don't give you that information right out the gate.
Not right off the bat.
Okay.
All this information kind of slowly given out to you, and
you discover that Abby was associated with that group. Like it seems out of place, her anger at first, and then you realize why her anger is put in that place.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, I think Caitlin Dever is a fantastic actress. I think she's one of the best young actresses working in Hollywood now. The fact is, I didn't need to know who she killed. I knew somebody personally close to her died. It wasn't like a group that she just found fondly, because she put something around, and when she turns around and she cries and she says, "We will kill him. We're going to kill him slowly." Badass. Like, and again, it's different because in the system of the game, you want like your team Joel, but you play Joel.
Yeah.
So this Abby person, nothing. This show is doing a very good job of setting up characters where you're like, Joel's kind of fucking dick.
She's got a point.
Joel's kind of fucking asshole. You know what? Yeah, I understand why you're mad. Like
we understand why Joel did what he did, but we also understand why she's upset. So I think that's really interesting, having the two kind of conflicting point of views going at it.
So dumb intro with that stupid thing that spreads through. I hate it. I just Game of Thrones, whatever. It's my pet peeve. 5-year jump.
Yeah, we're in the end game
5-year
now.
jump. So like she just is like, we're gonna kill him slowly. Hey, see you in 5 years. Ellie's whooping ass inside a barn. Ellie's whooping ass inside of a barn, and she's I don't know. Again, it doesn't let you know that this is a training facility at this point. You just think she's getting roughed over. But then you find out quick, they're just roughhousing, and she gets punched in the face, and she puts her in a triangle, and basically 5 years have passed. We kind of get the impression that Ellie is not a big fan of Joel right now, overall. Because they say, "Oh, you see him pull that punch." What the hell do you mean pull the punch? You think we're gonna hit you and have Joel come talk to us? Like, no, thank you. Like, pissed off at Joel. Like, no question. Like, doesn't need it. So again, classic teenage Yanks at that point. 5 years on her own, 19 now.
Yeah.
Doesn't need a dad anymore. Was great in the first half. Not a big fan. So talks of Ellie 5 years jump. The fighting, thoughts on that overall?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to show a passage of time that she's been training with all this, and I think it goes back to where she kind of lost a bit of trust with him when he pretty much lied to her at the end of the first season, and you can see that's kind of been, it seems like it's been festering for 5 years now. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, she's a good fighter now, so that should be more interesting for this season. She doesn't have to be saved left and right.
Yeah, couple interesting things here, I think, with this particular segment. They kind of I'll bring up one of these things later because I kind of want to ask Cody about it. But I think the other thing is I was really curious how the show was going to handle kind of like the physical
Transformation.
Yeah, because they made Ellie look older in the game. So you could kind of believe that, okay, Ellie could actually be, a sort of one-man army type, because you do play as Ellie for a good chunk of the second game. And, like, there has to be some believability in there. Like, Bella Ramsey still looks like a 15-year-old girl. Hasn't really kind of grown into that. I feel like this segment does at least a bit of heavy lifting in showing us, okay, this is how we're going to kind of make Bella Ramsey kind of more of like an action force, like throughout the show. Kind of, just getting that just out of the way pretty quickly. And can I go into like kind of a tiny spoiler, at least for the game, like going forward? Because there is something I kind of want to bring up about that. Or you just want to leave that alone?
Or is it going to spoil like anything that's going to ruin the show for Matt?
I'll just leave it alone. Never mind. I'll just leave it alone.
We're walking on eggshells here to keep everybody in line. Then we get a pan out. We're in Jackson, Wyoming. So overall, I'm not a great person of maps, but I think Wyoming is closer to Seattle or Oregon. Like, it's pretty close in that than Utah would be.
We don't know geography.
I don't know. They're like this is the half. They're like in this half, or I guess this half technically.
It is the same community from the first season, I assume.
Yes, I would assume too. Maybe
unless they relocated in 5 years.
And yeah, I think it's just a really cool like it is literally like a Oh, I'm completely wrong. I had to look it up. I'm not correct at all. If they were in Utah, it'd be closer to Wyoming. Either way, I think the city looks cool. It literally looks like an old Western town. Like, that's the whole setup. Like, it's literally an outbreak happened in 2003. Years have passed, and now they're literally back to like the medieval days. Like, it's just interesting how that works.
And it's cool that they're kind of rebuilding everything. which is what leads us to Joel again. We see he's kind of back to his former job as like a construction foreman.
Yeah, and he is old.
Mhm.
He's got glasses. He's and he's going through therapy. So that's interesting. Joel not seem like a guy that needs to talk about his feelings. Don't know how long he's been in therapy, but he might want to like start telling Ellie some truths, like if he's working through his problems. But again, it's a process. But he's working with a foreman. They find pipes that have
Yeah.
like weed or
Tree roots
trees,
and
tree branch. They've grown in, so they basically need to rework them. And Ellie's best friend, I would assume, or a really good friend,
Yeah.
shows up, and she's like wanting lessons from Joel, and then she picks up like, oh, are you in therapy? It's like, don't tell anybody I'm in therapy. Got it, boss, no problem. Like, just keeps it between them. I like Joel being a little older. Like, the years have passed. He's now like, he's been this hardened guy. Now he's even trying to work through his own problems, which is, I think, funny.
You would think that all this shit that these people have gone through, therapy would seem like something that a lot of people could probably use after all the things these people have seen and probably had to kill loved ones and stuff like that.
Right.
We're back in the old West, man. We don't got to worry about all that like frivolous mind doctor stuff.
Yeah, and then I don't think that's a massive scene. Like, we don't have to discuss much about it, but we see Bella and Tommy go out on patrol, where they're just shooting clickers and creatures out in the thing, taking them out.
Not only has she learned to fight, now she can shoot really good too.
Yeah. Which, again, I know what they're trying to do is like age her up 5 years. Again, I'm with Mark. She does not look like she's aged 5 years at all. There's literally a scene of like the dance or whatever. She looks completely like she's a 15-year-old, like out of place. Like, it feels so weird, but whatever. Yeah, they're shooting, and it gets broken to her that taking her off patrol. Joel has recommended that she gets off patrol, which, again, Joel sticking his nose kind of where it doesn't belong anymore, because if she's old enough, like, why does he have to speak for her? And then Bella goes on this little rant about, like, I was bit, screaming all the thing, like, what, guys, I'm immune, like, nothing really matters, like, why can't I do this stuff? Like, makes no sense. I kind of like that it's not weird, but it makes sense that she's now gravitated to Tommy over Joel, and they're working together. Overall, I thought the scene was really cool of them hunting down, like, the backdrop of the white, like, snow and the shooting, and I think it's just a really cool, like, setup that they have.
And I think it's good that they established that she's kind of keeping her condition on the down low, or at least Tommy and Joel have decided that she should keep that secret from everybody.
Mark, what'd you think?
Oh, yeah, I mean, that was a neat scene. I think I'm a little curious. I mean, because like, wait, have we gotten to that part where like Joel is like talking to his wife about stuff, about building stuff?
That comes up, yeah.
Joel talking to who?
About
to Tommy's wife about the construction.
Wife,
He's got to find that construction lever and speed it up.
It's the very next scene. It's the very next scene where they're talking about working out the school.
Just go ahead and talk about that. Like,
because they're bringing in a lot more people still, which I'm with Joel. That might not be the best idea.
Yeah, is she a different actress from the first season?
No, it's the same actress.
I don't think so. No.
Okay, she didn't look the same to me. I don't know.
They might have put a little gray in there and make her look 5 years older.
Maybe. Yeah, but they're talking about the overall point and like what they need to get accomplished, and bringing more people in sounds like bad idea.
Because in the first season, weren't they all like not letting anyone into this community and sicking dogs on people?
They're thinking the more people, the better it will be. But
they were about to bushwhack Joel and Ellie.
Yeah, it just I think it's a terrible idea. Well, it will be a terrible idea, like overall. Like, let's know how the show's working. When they say, "Hey, we're gonna bring more people in," and then shit goes wrong, most likely shit's gonna go wrong.
And that leads us into the therapy session.
Yes, therapy session with. Oh my god! Like, I'm sorry. I know she's a good. I can't. Why are we putting we're putting Catherine O'Hara in everything? Schitt's Creek
Mhm.
shot her back into the promise. I don't think she's bad. Don't get me wrong.
Just
That
maybe a
scene
little
had
overexposed.
that scene had every chance to go fucking horrible. Like, horrible. It turned out to be a really good scene, so don't get me wrong. Like, it's not what's her name from Legally Blonde and White Lotus and
Jennifer Coolidge.
Coolidge. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, like, yeah, I just imagine her.
That'd be
sitting there.
good too. That'd be good.
But I think it sets up a really interesting dynamic of the time that we're in and the stuff that we're doing in the show, because he's sitting across from a therapist where she has to like help him through his problems, but he literally caused one of her problems by killing her husband. Like, that's just like,
And that's something
crazy.
we haven't seen, right? That wasn't something from the first season. That was like something that in between 5 years.
The George thing.
The
I don't.
Oh,
Eugene.
Eugene.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
happened within.
Okay.
When he
Yeah,
was
because I was trying to remember if that was something that happened in the
In the
first
5 years,
season
it did not happen. Season 1.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm sure we'll get more information on
But
that.
like,
as the
that's a
season goes.
complex story that you don't normally have. Like,
Mhm.
sitting across helping somebody that personally affected you. Like, I thought I think it was a really interesting scene. I liked how their back and forth really went. What do you guys overall think of the therapy session?
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting dynamic, and I think it's interesting that Joel he's not being honest with his therapist, which is something you're not supposed to do when you're in therapy. He hasn't told her pretty much why. He knows why Ellie is pretty much distancing herself from him, but he doesn't want to address that problem because, of course, I'm sure he doesn't think that it's a problem. But yeah, and of course, she brought up the whole thing with Eugene, so that is a really interesting dynamic. How I guess she's pretty much trying to help this guy while she like kind of hates this guy. So I don't know.
Yeah, it was the best scene in the whole episode. I was pretty skeptical whenever. Not that the Catherine O'Hara thing, is I didn't realize that was a thing. Like, we were just getting tired of seeing Catherine O'Hara. Like, I was like, I mean, I know she's in Schitt's Creek and Beetlejuice, but like, I don't know, like, she in the Hun else, like, I don't know.
Maybe I just am overreacting, but like,
I mean,
I
think
was
she did
afraid of
some
the
cell phone
Schitt's
commercials,
Creek
but, like,
acting
that's it.
performance that I've seen. Like,
Cody's been studying for a Catherine O'Hara strength. So.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, just it's maybe the best we've seen Pedro Pascal act like in his entire career. Just like looking at just the silent emotions that just go through him in that like minute segment of him barely being able to hold it in, then going stone face, standing up and goes, "I saved her," and then the single tear, incredible. Like I had to pause it after that. Like I couldn't believe what I just saw.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't rewind it.
No, it's got to be brutally violent for me to want to rewind it a couple times. Like
That's
that.
right.
That might be a scene coming up.
Yeah, it does. It does lend a question that I am kind of curious about. Is that does Ellie know, or is she just tired of Joel lying to her?
I mean, she's suspicious at the end of the first season. I don't know if she like knows for sure, but she has a feeling.
I mean,
I think
there's
Joel
some credence to bring that up later, but I am kind of curious about that.
Joel is overprotective.
Yeah, the overprotective thing that's been bugging her too.
Overprotective, and she's 19 and she wants her own independence. So there's a mixture of teenage, Joel overstepping, and her just. She's been around somebody for 5 years at this point that is not her real dad, but acts like her real dad. And every time she has, like, she has a connection with him, but it doesn't mean he needs to have that amount of control over her. And that's the issue that she is facing.
And that was a great line too in that scene where the therapist reminds him, "She's not your daughter."
And like we see a little like these are the stuff that doesn't matter is the thing that would also frustrate me.
Mhm.
I'm hanging out with my friends. We're fighting. I can't fight with you like I would normally because Joel will get mad at us. I'm taking you off patrol. Why? Because
Yeah.
Joel said so. Joel's overstepping things that are just driving Ellie up the fucking wall. So like, and then we're seeing a small fragment of her day.
And it's been 5 years.
Like, can you imagine when you don't have any other form of anything?
Mhm.
And she likes patrol. She likes doing this stuff, and she's getting taken off of it because of her safety. But Ellie's at the point like, motherfucker, I can handle myself. Like, this is what
I'm
I've
the
been
best
training for.
person for this job because if I get bit, oh well.
If it wasn't
Just
for
throw
me,
a
you'd be
Band-Aid on
dead.
it. Yeah.
Like she saved him and survived everything from there. So that overall happens, and then the group of I would say younger, the people that were fighting in the barn, her best friend go on patrol, like go
Yeah,
out.
Dina.
Last patrol, I guess, her last patrol or her last like thing, or she's just like defiant and says she's going.
Yeah.
So they end up going. Again, you can see the flirty behavior between Ellie and her. Like,
What?
yeah, if you didn't know, Ellie likes women. No problem
What?
here.
I think we established that in the first season.
But
Yeah.
they're going to drive that point a little home for us, all right, everybody? So they're like flirting around. They see again, I don't know how patrol works for everybody else. If I'm in The Last of Us and I see a bear ripped to shreds, just turn that fucking horse around.
But that bear
Turn the
took
horse-
down like 6 clickers on its own. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe the bear killed them all. Like,
maybe like in a map when you're mapping things out, you just put a big X that says "killed bear." Like, and some
You
of these
gotta
people
avenge
just
the
don't-
bear though.
Like, no, you don't. Ellie was there the night that the sinkhole formed and that giant fucker popped out of the floor. How about you just know that there's because everybody just walks around like they just have nothing to fucking fear. And I get that if you don't know what you're expecting. Ellie knows what they expect. She's been around a horde. She's been around a few hordes at this point.
Yeah, but 19-year-old Ellie, she would have jumped down that pit.
Probably just true. Motherfucker, let's go. So yeah, a bear killed a bear. So they go exploring to
Abandoned grocery store.
yeah, what and like again, it's 2003, so maybe they didn't see a lot of horror movies at the time, but like abandoned gas stations, grocery stores not the greatest. So they end up walking around looking for the place, hearing some random noise. It's so eerie too to just see like all the stuff just left over from like like that place has not been touched since like 2003. Like you can just see everything still up on the posters.
Mm-hmm.
The wall stuff is all the same. And then Ellie ends up falling through the floor, and like of course. Well, floors don't hold up like they used to, back in the day. So she falls through, and I think absolutely one of the coolest like designs of it's not a clicker because I'll get in trouble because that's not the version of a clicker. What do they just call the infected?
Well, you mean the one that was in the store?
Yeah.
Yes,
A stalker.
stalker.
Oh.
I haven't played the game. I started playing the game again.
So is that something from the second game where they get smarter and
It
stuff?
is one from the second game where like they just kind of like because you got that kind of superish power where like you
Mhm.
kind of like hear things and you can kind of hear where all like the walkers or people are walking around. Those particular things you can't hear them because like they're walking around so quietly
No.
and you only like hear them whenever they're like running from like spot to spot. So
Yeah.
That's cool.
it was kind of neat to have them have that one in there because there's already one infected that I'm pretty sure we're not going to see, which is called a shambler, which is kind of like a less beefed up version of like the big bloater, but like they
Yeah.
also like will throw like these like spore bombs at you and will
Mhm.
like go and like like
Yeah,
do like a hug
Very video
spore
game
attack.
thing.
Yeah, like they already joked about that like in the first season of like that's probably not coming up. But I'm kind of glad they found a way to bring in the stalkers in here.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That was a really cool scene with her down there in the grocery store, and I really liked the whole stuff with her and Dina. Their like little silent commando stuff for killing out the two on the second floor there. I think they have like really good chemistry together, so that was cool.
And the big thing that happens, Ellie gets bit again.
Yeah,
Ellie gets bit, which again, I don't. Tommy, Joel. I don't know how many people know that she's.
I don't know
been
if
bit.
Tommy's
She's
wife
immune.
knows, but I know definitely Tommy and Joel. They might be the only two.
So they end up getting brought to a council, the council, like talking about what the thing, basically what they ran into, all the stuff, what ended up happening, about like what ended up happening to log a report when they leave. Like, do you believe it? Well, Dina was lying, but Ellie, I believe, like they're still believing Ellie. They're going through all the overall of her sneaking around and doing, the stuff. Well, Ellie goes back to her place and ends up cutting her bite to make it look less bitey, I guess, is her plan on that. So to hide even more. Again, I don't know how many encounters she's had, but like getting bit twice. Come on, girl. What are we doing here? Like, but again, I like the council.
I'm sure it's
idea.
more than twice. She's probably got a whole bunch of scars on her.
That's right.
I mean, this is the third one that we know of.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's really cool. I like the council idea. I love like the whole like policing themselves, like figuring that stuff out. Awkward encounter of Joel and Ellie, just Joel standing at the garage door, like you're just like, hey, you've been playing often? Like, oh, how's it
You
going?
can try these new strings. I'll bring it back later.
Like, he's walking on eggshells. He has no idea. So
He's not doing much to help the issue.
Not at all. So I think that's funny. You can definitely see the distance. Talks about going. There's a
New Year's party.
New Year's party, like an event that's happening. So they're going to end up going there. Dina and Ellie like dancing and like having a good time and feeling a little romantic. Whispers in ears, pushes hair back. They end up kissing. Old guy.
Cody, this is a family event. What are they doing?
Classic old guy just staring at her like, in the family function. How dare you have some respect? Well, when we think about somebody over interjecting, well, Ellie's about to beat this old guy's ass. Doesn't get a chance because fucking Joel comes out of nowhere, fucking shoulder checks him. And Ellie basically lets him have it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I don't need your help. Like, leave me the fuck alone. Again, these are issues. Joel is overstepping where he doesn't need to be. And then there's that awkward exchange of her like walking back from the thing, and like he's sitting on the porch and she just like walks past him, like doesn't say anything.
He gets the silent treatment. Yeah.
So tensions are high. And then they're all leaving. Kids are like, there's people still running around. They have a sparkler. They drop a sparkler, and inside the pipes, we see the spores moving around. Yeah.
Everyone who knows about that pipe is fired. There's no excuse for leaving that.
Jackson, Wyoming, you are fucked. That's all I've got to say to you. You better just pack up and get the fuck out of there. And then that's how the show ends. Oh, wait. No, it doesn't. On the outskirts of Jackson, Wyoming, looking on to it, Abby and the crew are making their way towards the town. So
awful timing. Awful timing for them to show up.
And they are armed to the 9.
Oh, yeah.
So Seattle has treated them well. That's overall the first episode. I think it was a great introduction back into the world. it sets up that Joel and Ellie are at complete odds. Ellie got a new love for her life. Hopefully, doesn't die in a mall this time. But I think it's so cool that we are wasting zero time, really, between the pipe and Abby is on there. So, like, shit's about to go down. And the thing is, even if they get injured, like, I don't know how we'll do it in an introduction, but Abby going in there, it's not always guaranteed to, like, start shooting up the blade gun if it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, they're just letting people in the community, they could just go in undercover.
And Joel has no idea that her public enemy number one, like the person that wants to put a bullet through your skull, is sitting.
Well, I mean, they for sure, they don't know exactly what Joel looks like either. So
I think they're going to have a real good idea pretty quick when they walk in there. Because I've been looking around Jackson, Wyoming, and one guy.
Anyone named Joel here?
And man, Supervisor Joel couldn't be. I think it is. So I think
they'll probably go ask the guy that got a shoulder check there at the dance. Oh, I know what Joel is.
TV Chronicles normally works. We pick a bad guy of the week, but first we'll talk about it. But I think I'm interested in what everybody picks on this fall episode of what the bad guy of the week is. Overall, what you guys think?
I mean, like you said, I think it's a great setup for the season. It kind of sets up the whole character dynamic, the fission there between, or the division there between Joel and Ellie. And like I said, it's a horrible time because we got trouble from the Inflected coming their way, and then we also got trouble with Abby and her group coming at the same time. But it was good. It expanded on the community a little bit, showed some of the characters. So yeah, I think it was a great start.
Just to go in real quick on, at least I want to touch on something with the dance real quick. Which, real quick, that scene, pretty much like shot for shot, like in how it is for the game. Not much difference. There is something like that is right after the dance, where there is a pretty big game part that happens right after when she's walking up to the porch and she just walks away. There is something there that I think they kind of just let go. Like I'm very curious if we're gonna get a version of that. It's kind of my one issue. Just somebody who played the game. There's a particular thing that like they were leading to maybe happening. It wouldn't make a lot of story sense if that particular scene happened there, but that is the place where it happened. So I'm kind of curious what change like they're gonna bring. I mean, I will say just in terms of this episode, they are playing the story is going a bit more chronological than I thought they would go. Because there's a number of things here that happen that honestly don't quite happen. We don't really figure out about the stuff until like later on. Because I feel like the game more or less actually starts when this episode 2 is about to kick off, like so to speak. But either way, this is a really strong start. I had very few complaints in this one in general. I kind of wish they kept the little Abby stuff like under their hat, like that. I really thought they didn't reveal that. I mean, all right, we're just gonna move on from that. Other than that, this is pretty great. I was really enjoying it. I'm a little upset now. We only got 6 more of these, so.
Sure. All right. Bad guy of the week for me. This is a family function. How dare you? What a douchebag! Like, shut the fuck up. Let her have fun. Like, what are we talking about? That's my bad guy. I understand if no one else is a real bad guy because there's not really one besides Joel.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was gonna say. It's kind of hard this week. I would probably pick Joel as the bad guy of the week.
Right. I mean, kill this therapist's husband. Like,
whenever you're lying to your therapist, that's never a good sign. It just overall being an overprotective father.
He died. Like,
I mean, how can he slip in? Hey, there may have been a cure for all this, and I just went the other way on that one. But
well, he doesn't have to say that part.
Well, I mean, he's got to get.
He just has to say that. Hey, I lied to her about a major thing.
Yeah, but she goes, well, what's that major thing? The therapists are going to ask questions.
So is he like making her be his therapist, or
maybe there's only one?
I'm sure there's probably only the one, but he probably has the right to say no. That is true. He's playing the weed game again.
But you know,
So Mark, who was your bad guy? Is it still Joel?
I don't know. I guess. I mean, by our rules, technically, this dance guy could be a bigger character. We don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know.
So I
mean,
think he
that's a
probably,
viable option.
you know, he can count. You know, like
Okay.
I think he's fine. You know, there isn't really one, but you know, okay. Like,
Well, I'm sure Joel will get his act together, and he won't be a bad guy of the week again.
possible.
Okay.
Anything can happen. You never know.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. Okay. That's the first episode. I think we're off to a really good start. We'll be back next week, Thursday, same time, when we'll break down episode 2. It still comes out on Easter, right? There's no problem. Lord's
I
Day
would
doesn't
assume
matter.
so.
Okay.
I mean, that's the good time to get the family together and watch the show.
Yeah, watch Last of Us, watch people get eaten. We will catch you next time. Again, pay attention. Starting May 1st, every Thursday, we will upload TV Chronicles. We are doing The Shield, Mad Men, The Sopranos. 3 episodes, 2 episodes, sometimes 4 episodes per thing. But overall, they'll be on each episode. They'll be in the description too. Join us on those. We have a lot of fun. We're actually going to film another one right after this. So yeah, join us on that journey. And again, if this does, like, if people, even if it gets the main portion, if we enjoy doing this, we'll do this with more shows. But we're hoping other people will actually
There's
enjoy us.
plenty of shows out there. So
join the conversation. So yeah, we will see you next week on Last of Us with episode 2. I don't know what it's called yet, but we'll see you for episode 2. Bye-bye.